As you saw yesterday, the state of Indiana said that we are definitely not going back to school this year. So that was kind of a blow. I was really hoping to get back to school. East Washington had already kind of prepared for that just in case it happened. Um, so we have this week, and then we have next week of e-learning. So that'll take us through next week. Then we have a week off where you don't have anything, no e-learning. They were using wave days. That's that week of the 13th. So that'll be a whole waived week. Then we have 2 weeks of instruction that leads us up to May 1st, and then that will be it. So you're really only talking after this week. You got 3 weeks of classwork to do, and then that'll be it. Then after May 4th on, the state they're going to waive all of those days. So we're kind of in the last 3 weeks of school. If you didn't read Mr. Ferris's message, we will not have finals this semester for anyone. What they are working through right now is exactly how they're going to calculate grades for the semester. We don't know exactly how that's going to happen. I do plan on we're going to keep going through this stuff. So I want to try to get through. We'll get through all of Chapter 7. Today's actually the last lesson in Chapter 7, and then we're going to go on to some basic statistics. So we'll cover that next week. Next week we're going to finish this lesson. We're going to review some next week, and then we'll have a test next week on Chapter 7. And then we have kind of the 2 weeks after our e-learning break, where we'll be looking at some basic statistics, and we'll have a quiz. I'm probably only going to get through 3 or 4 lessons there. Again, you won't have a final or anything like that. So I am going to start. They told us to go ahead and start putting grades in PowerSchool, so I'm going to start doing that next week. I got 2 weeks worth of stuff, a few grades. If you've done your notes and all that kind of stuff, you won't have any issues. I will be checking it a little more thoroughly as far as the work that you turn in. Your notes, I'm just checking that you've done it. I'm not going into as much detail on that. But some of the other work, I'll check it a little bit more thoroughly, probably check in a half dozen questions or whatever to give you your points for the day. But you can start seeing those grades in PowerSchool. If you're missing something, please let me know. I'll try to be as clear as I can with all of that. Okay. Any questions on any of that? No, let's see. Who else? I just added a few people. William and Colleen. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3. Got it. Okay. So let's get started with today's lesson. Let me switch to my screen. Again, if you guys will take notes, that would be absolutely fantastic. It's a super, super easy lesson. I have posted this sheet, or have I not posted this sheet yet? Did you guys see the sheet in there or no? You're not seeing it?
Nope.
Okay, let me post this right this second. My apologies. Again, this sheet, just like before, will be due tomorrow. I just assigned that, so if you guys want to download this real quick, that would be fantastic. We'll be going through a little bit. I'm going to write down a couple things before we get started here. Okay. So we are now talking about a very specific type of logarithm called a natural log. Okay. Now, normally we said with log is base what? Log normally, if it's not written, is base 10. Okay. Now, we want to talk about a very specific log, and that is called, it is ln, and it is base e. It is base e. This is called a natural log. Now, e is something, it's Euler's number. Okay. E is Euler's number. Euler is a famous mathematician. I can calculate this for you real quick. It actually E is roughly 2.71828 dot 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 dot. It's a number that's similar to pi. It goes on and on and on and on and on and on. It does have some significance in math as you get further along in math. Right now, the derivation of that number is irrelevant. I wouldn't worry about it. Just know that it's a number, but it's a very special number. In that natural logs are base E. That's kind of the key to this right now. Okay. Now, all of our other rules about logarithms still apply. So let's make a big note of that. So all log rules still apply. All the logarithm rules still apply. So as we start tackling some of our problems today, all that we're looking at is we're looking at natural log instead of regular log. So let's do a few examples. This is off your homework. If I do the 3 natural log of 3 plus the natural log of 9, this first section of your homework says that I want to combine these into one single logarithm. So what can I do with this 3? Well, there's a rule for that. Where's that 3 going to go?
Times power of 3.
It becomes what?
The power of 3.
Becomes power. So that becomes the natural log of 3 to the 3rd plus the natural log of 9. Again, that 3 becomes a power. That's the power rule. And then what does the addition become? Let's go to Destiny. What happens to the addition?
Would it be the natural log of 12?
But be
Right.
careful. What is 3 cubed? 3 to the 3rd would be 3 times 3 times 3 would get me.
7.
Try again. 3 times 3 times 3 would get me
27.
So 27. The addition becomes multiplication. So this becomes the natural log of 27 times 9. I don't expect you to do that in your head, of 243. So this original statement and that last statement mean the exact same thing. All I've done was apply my properties. Okay? What do we think there? Crazy hard, crazy easy, utterly confusing?
Easy.
Man, is that really blurry for you guys?
Yes.
I did not realize it was so blurry. Is that better?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. You guys should have said something. Okay. So let's look at, let's go to number 8. Number 8 says 3 natural log of A minus B natural log of 2. I want to combine this into one single natural log. Okay. Justin, what can I do with this 3?
I have no idea.
The number in front can become where? Can become a what?
The power.
So I'm going to get rid of this 3 and I'm going to make it a power. Now, although this is B, it's still the number in front. Ethan, what can I do with this B? Ethan, you with us?
Yeah.
What can I do with this B? Again, any number in front can become
The power.
So I'm going to cross out that B and make it a power. Now, the $1 million question is minus becomes what, Chase?
Minus becomes a division.
So I'm going to divide what's on top and what's on bottom.
A3 over 2B.
A to the third, be careful. Not 2B, but 2
2 to the B.
to the B, right? So using those same properties, I used my power rule to put that to the power, made that the power. Subtraction became division, and I could write that as a single logarithm. Okay? Thoughts there? Not too bad? Let's jump to slightly harder problem. Let's jump to the second section on your homework is where we're actually going to solve these. Okay, we're going to kind of put a line. That's that first section. Second section, let's do 3 minus 4 natural log of 8x minus 1 equals 12.
Can you move your paper?
Yes, I can.
Thank you.
Can you see that?
Yeah.
Okay, so just like before, I need to get this natural log term by itself. How can I do that? How can I get this whole thing by itself? Let me go to Brian. What do you think?
I'm gonna go with my gut and say distribute.
Well, this is the natural log of this term. So this, all of this works together. So I got to get rid of everything else. So this is don't make it too hard. How do I get rid of that 3 and the minus 4?
What in the flying fuck am I?
How would I get rid of a 3?
Subtract it.
Well, simply subtract 3. Don't overthink, right? So I got negative 4 natural log of 8x minus 1 equals 9. Okay. How do I get rid of that negative 4?
Add 4.
Well, this is what operation?
Multiplication.
Multiplication. So I need to
Divide.
divide by negative 4. The natural log of 8x minus 1 equals this number. Sometimes it's going to help you to make these decimals. If you want to leave them as a fraction, it's not a bad idea, but I'm going to make this negative 2.25. Now, the question here is, what did I say the base was here? What was the base here?
E?
Mhm.
E. The base is E. So how do I undo a logarithmic statement into exponential? Well, it's the base raised to the other side equals the term. The term in this case is 8x minus 1. Again, E is just some number, so don't freak out by it. How would I solve this thing for x? Well, let me go. If I punch this in my calculator, or if you punch in the decimals, can you guys see this? All I did was just punch this into my calculator. I get a decimal, and I can just put that decimal down there. This is 0.10539. How would I solve this equation? Come on now, somebody.
Add 1.
Add 1. Come on now, you guys are killing me. So I got 1.10539 equals 8x, and then to finish this one,
Divide by 8.
simply divide by 8. So this is all going to be done in your calculator. I get x equals 0.138, and I'm definitely okay. I think it says nearest hundredth. I'm sorry, the directions say nearest hundredth, so we'll call that 0.14. Okay. Now some of these will get nicer, prettier answers, but a lot of these are going to get you some ugly decimal answers. Don't let it fool you. Don't let it bother you. Okay. Nothing to it. Let's do another one of those. Let's do one that's maybe an ounce easier. Maybe I picked one that's too hard. Let's go to 24. So what I have is 7 natural log of 2x plus 5 equals 8. Okay. Justin, step 1, what do you think?
Turn the 7 into a power, or would you do the parentheses?
You could do either. You could turn the 7 into power, but I'm trying to solve here, so I really want the 7 to disappear. How do I get rid of that 7?
Minus 7, subtract 7.
What operations do?
Multiplication.
That's multiplication. So I would divide by 7, right, Justin?
Yeah.
So 7 go away. We got the natural log of 2x plus 5 equals 8 over 7. Again, if you're using a calculator, you can go ahead and divide that and leave it in your calculator, but I'll leave it as a fraction for right now. Now, remember that's base E. How do I undo this one, Destiny?
You're going to no, we just divided. Aren't you typing this into your calculator now? The 2x plus 5 to get your number, right?
Well, see that? Remember this step here? I've got to undo that logarithm with exponentials. So what I'm going to have is E, the base, raised to the other side, to the 8 over 7, equals what?
2x plus 5.
2x plus 5. Destiny, you all right with that or no?
Yeah, I'm kind of getting the hang of it.
Now, this is just a value. Put that in your calculator. E to the 8 over 7, just put that, use decimals, use whatever. And that's 3.14 when I round. And I need to solve this from here. Ethan, how am I going to do that?
Calculator, right?
How would I solve this? Yes, you're going to
Divide.
use your calculator, but you need to show your steps. What am I going to do here?
Divide.
Yeah.
Subtract the 5.
Subtract 5. And yes, I can put that in my calculator. It's negative 1.86 equals 2x. Then what?
Divide.
Divide by 2. So x equals negative 0.93. Okay. What are your thoughts there?
Easy.
Yeah, this is kind of where I want to stop for today. This is going to be kind of the first half of your sheet. This is kind of what we did this past week. I did half of it, and then I'll do the other half of it. The other half is going backwards from an E to a natural log. We're going backwards, but I'll tackle that on Monday. Okay. So I'm gonna give you the assignment, but it's not going to be due until Tuesday. Once we do the other half of it. So if you want to go ahead and tackle it, you can get a jump start on it. That's great. But it won't be due until Tuesday after we do the second part of it. Okay. Any questions there? That is all I have for today. I hope you guys have a fantastic weekend.